I started off as a pilot, but there was a bottleneck in the country for training pilots. We were talked into a scheme whereby we would volunteer to be to go as observers. That's the combined duty of a navigator and a bomb aimer, and we would be rushed up north, and after a short period of service we'd be brought back here and put right in the front of the queue and complete our training as pilots. And 30 of us accepted that offer, and off we went to East London, Youngsfield and Cape Town, and soon I found myself up in the Middle East. Early 1944, some of us were sent off to Palestine, Israeli of today, at Lydda Airport, and there we converted on a new squadron, 31 Squadron, flying B-24, American B-24 four-engine bombers. And that was all exciting and different. As a publicity stunt, they selected 2 crews to fly off after 3 weeks training to go on a sortie to Crete, the island held by the Germans. And I was in the Flight Commander, Major Jimmy Maton, DFC, very experienced, wonderful man. And we went off and had the honor of being the first, undertaking the first sortie by South African heavy bombers in World War II. At the end of that training, we went down to Cairo to Kilo 40, and there we formed up into crews and just rounded off our training. And then shortly after that, we moved across to Italy, and we formed up our squadron at Cheloni. And later, much later, 34 Squadron were to come and share the same landing strip on the other side of the airfield. And then we learned what was life, what war was all about. We used to fly only at night. We never undertook any bombing raids during the daytime. The Americans used this strip as well, and they bombed during the day. And when they sent up hundreds at a time of mainly Flying Fortress B-17s, and we would go at night. And our targets were strategic. We were bombing transport installations, railway bridges, railway lines, anywhere where there was oil refineries, oil storage tanks. And the whole scheme was to starve the German homeland of oil. We went to the infamous Ploesti oil field in Romania. What a target. It was so heavily defended, and they'd cunningly put a ring of smoke incinerators round the Ploesti oil fields, and depending on which way the wind was blowing, as they saw you turning on to head to Ploesti, the Germans would light up or switch on these smoke incinerators, and one moment you could see a target just down there, and next a white blanket would just move faster than you were going and cover the ground. So you mostly ended up aiming your bombs just almost on guesswork or on memory where the real target was. So they defended that very much. And then a new innovation was that because their roads and railways had been blown up by fighter bombers and other bomber crews, they used barges, fairly big barges, on which they would put the oil either in tanks or in barrels, and they would go up the Danube, zigzag through all those countries to the north, mainly Yugoslavia, and into Germany to feed the war machine. And the first night we went on one of these, it had to be bright moonlight, and we would reach our strip. It was called gardening, the operation was gardening, and our vegetables we planted, the magnetic mines, were known as cucumbers. And we would arrive there, as I say, only on a bright moonlight night. We would drop down and cruise at 50 feet. Now, I haven't made a mistake, 50, that's very, very low. And with the moon shining to light up the banks on either side, it was pretty light. Now, the first night that we went, all went well. We found the right spot. I identified it by certain objects and bends in the river. I was lying on my stomach, and we had bombs open, and I was guiding the pilot in with the bombs open, bomb bays open, and there I saw another aircraft. 4 engines, same shape as ours, immediately underneath us. And in my ignorance, I shouted out, "Sorry, skipper, we cannot bomb there. There's another aircraft immediately underneath us. We'll have to go around again." So without argument, typical of him and the discipline we all exercise, he just pushed the sticks forward, took off, and as we took off to come round again, saw that other aircraft, the shadow of it, and I realized with great embarrassment that I had been looking at our own shadow there. That's a true story. It hasn't got repeated very much, thanks, and so my embarrassment has been minimized. Anyway, we went round again, but this time a German troop train that had been on the banks and the soldiers were asleep, they were now ready and they were waiting for them. They just sprayed us with anti-aircraft fire, but fortunately none of us were hit. We got back, plenty of holes in the fuselage, but safely. And that was my friends pulled my leg for a long time on that.